I have with me in the studio the Assistant Director of Media of the APC Campaign Council, Comrade Collins Amadi Osaga. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you very much, Sonny Duke. Good morning, viewers.
We also have with us here in the studio Mr. Akbeji, who is from the Young Progressives Party. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sonny Duke, for having me.
Okay, and joining us online, I'd like to thank Fares Okbere, who is the Director of Social Media, Aswe Igodalo, and Osaojongi Campaign Organization, talking about the PDP social media team. Thank you for joining us, Fares.
Thank you for having me. I'm the Deputy Director General New Media.
Okay, so let's get our conversation started. Looking at this election, we just highlighted three component parts: the party manifesto, the candidates, and then the voters. Very, very key.
Sure.
But there is this widely held belief that political parties in Nigeria don't have manifestos. As a matter of fact, what is available there is what the candidate decides to do. And that explains why there's always this constant friction between the candidate, especially if he emerged victorious in the poll, and then the parent party that feeders such a candidate. I'd like to get your thoughts on this.
I totally agree with you. That have been the disconnect with the political system in Nigeria for a while. I probably would say since 1999. It has become a system where you don't really have a party belief, but individual belief, which is quite unfortunate. But however, still individual can make things work, can redirect the system. Just like when you saw late Yaradua did, when he was sworn in as president. He said, no, yes, I have been sworn in. There certainly would be no vacuum in government. But the process that brought me wasn't fair enough. We needed to evaluate, review, and overhaul. And he started that process. So that is what leadership sometimes embedded in the populace, in the system. So in such an act, we now believe that when we have somebody in aim of affair who believes that party should have a standard operandi, then he will help the party then prepare an agenda toward which the party will now stand on. If it is to say our major policies in our party should be infrastructure or education or security and manpower or what have you, then other will follow suit. But sadly, we have not really had that, as it were. But though in Edo, we almost had something as such when Comrade Adams Aliyu was in governor, though was not documented. We are believing that if we have something like this manifesto now of SMO, that he already had a direct manifesto that he believes he was going to work with. And he can indeed present it before the party when he emerges, and the party will bring in area they feel they need to add to it. Then it becomes, an embodiment for the party to which we follow. Every successive government or every successive person who have opportunity, to be elected through the party platform will say, this is my party manifesto. This is how we intend to be going. If it is education, if it is security, if it is development, just as it. Like this one that contains security, massive development, and infrastructure.
Okay, let me pause you there. I'll come back to you in a moment. Let me link up with Fares Okbere. Fares, I'd like to get your opening lines on this issue of political parties not having manifestos or the candidates deciding what to do, even if it's at variance with what the political parties have. What do you make of this? Do you see this as a challenge?
It is a challenge, like we always say that our political system have to evolve, and thankfully, since 1999, we've been gradually evolving. It will take time. Most democracies around the world took over 100 years to get to where they are today, and we are still a very young democracy, but we're still evolving. So as time goes on, our political system will evolve to a point where the political parties will develop a clear-cut ideology on what they want and where they want. But my only issue is that it's taking too much of a time because if you go back to history, you see that in the time of the likes of the MPM and the SDPs and all that, political parties in Nigeria then had a clear-cut agenda. So those who were in the MPN knew that the manifesto was for free education, for example, and the other parties, UPN and all of that. So they had different manifestos and different political agendas. And then when a political party has done primaries, the candidate emerges, he follows the line of that political party agenda. So it's more easier to have it. But what we have here is that we have a system where it's not, you can't really call it a political agenda, but it's more like a development plan for the states, whereby when a plan is developed, just like you saw in Lagos, you've seen in Edo, when a plan is developed for, like, say, 30 years, anybody that comes in, no matter the party, follow that plans and that work on that development plan that has been developed over time. And it also helps because you don't want to have a system where you come in today and then the next day another governor comes in and undo all the good things that have been going on. So, so in terms of having a system that works, that is the best that works for now. But I think going forward, we as political party players, our political system need to evolve to a point where every political party should have a clear-cut agenda so that it makes governance easy. Because political parties are the ones that drive governance. They are the ones that contest elections, put in people who will run government. So they should have a clear-cut agenda on where they want to go and how they want to achieve their agendas.
I'll come back to you in a moment. Let me come to Mr. Akpeji. Yeah.
All right.
What do you make of this as a challenge?
Yeah, Mr. Sonic Duke, you see, for me, I believe that political parties are formed based on ideologies, and that nobody just sits down and wake up and just decide I want to be a member of a political party without extrailing their core values, their principles of operation, and their ideology. And if it aligns with your personality and your school of thought, by all means, you choose to become a member of that party. So when I hear people say it's the candidate's manifesto, it's the political party's manifesto, I just think they are just trying to be clever by half. Because as far as I am concerned, there is absolutely no difference between the political party and the candidate who is the face of the party, representing their interests and their ideology. Because I just think this is just all about playing politics with people's life. Where we have been in this country where we have heard people come out and say the political party said they would do this and that, and the candidate says, I didn't say that, I didn't promise. Come on, can we just choose to be human beings for once, aside trying to play politics? So I think the political party and the candidate are one and the same, and if we have a roadmap rolled out or a manifesto laid out, people should just learn to take responsibility for their actions and say, we messed up here, we failed here, and let's just move on and see how we can do it better.
Okay, yeah, fantastic. Collins, the talk that it's one thing to have the manifesto, the other is for the candidate of the political party to be able to convey the content of the manifesto is a major challenge in Edo State Governorship Election 2024. Do you subscribe to this?
Of course, very well. I agree in totality. But it also have a clause. To some persons and knowing fully where their principles, you'll agree with me even if they have personal manifesto they have brought by themselves to deceiving the people to vote for them, you can be very sure that they will not implement it. All to their history, all to what they are known for. And there are also people that will tell you, if I am coming to build flyovers, like our candidate have said over the time, Edo does not forbid a standard and a modernized city where in you live Benin, you see it's as if Edo State is outside the context of development, where you see flyovers, bridges, and modern system of an environment. He has said that without missing words. And it's also evil in this manifesto of SMO.
Okay.
Massive development.
That's what he told
Opportunities for
That's
all.
what he has told you.
Yes, that is what I have said.
Okay.
Because this is what my principal have on ground right now.
Okay.
And we are trusting because by his yesterday, we can probably judge his tomorrow. Because even when he wasn't running for governorship, he wasn't even in politics. As a young man, he did promise his people before he migrated from that environment to going out to look for a greener pasture, as it were. He told them, bad water cannot become an impediment to the well-being of our people. When I grow up, it's going to be my task to make sure every home, every constituency get water.
Okay.
Then he grew up, God helping him, having developed his own personal business, like the Chapman Computers and Starcom and all of you. He realized that he cannot sleep more than in one bed. He can't drink one jerrycan of water at a time. Then he needs to move out to his constituents and start to develop them. He even left only providing water, started providing security, assisting government that were failing in their civic responsibility, started building schools, started building health center, even when he had not thought of joining any political party, as it were. Now, such a man can be trusted.
Okay.
Now he's in Senate.
Yeah.
Just to recap, within a few months he has spent in Senate, he has been able to show that government is about accountability. That is why we say to Edo people, anything that has been documented or said by him, hold him to his word.
Okay, let me pause it there, Comrade Collins Osaga. Fares, I asked a question a while ago that one thing is good to have a document, the manifesto, which the people can hold the candidate accountable for. But another thing is to be able to engage the people with this manifesto in terms of giving them an understanding of the content of that manifesto. Do you see that as a challenge in this election as it relates to the candidates, the political parties, and the manifesto?
Thank you very much, Sanju, for that beautiful question. You see, it's one thing to have a manifesto. It's another thing to understand what it's in that manifesto and to engage people with it. Unfortunately, like I always say that, my brother was just talking there, the APC candidates in this election does not even, first of all, they don't have a manifesto. Secondly, he doesn't even know the content of that manifesto. Because if you have a manifesto and you have a clear-cut plan, when you are invited to different forums to come and talk about your plan in your manifesto, you should be able to chest up, come out there and talk about it. We can see that today the PDP candidate is everywhere, talking about his manifesto, his vision for Edo, his plan. But unfortunately, you see that the APC, the candidate is hiding. He's not coming out. Just yesterday, the Nigerian Medical Association brought out a statement, a very long statement, whereby they said that because they were expecting the candidate of the APC to come and engage the medical practitioners today. But unfortunately, he said that he's in town, but he said that he's not coming and wanted to send his deputy. And then the doctors and all of them revolted that he must come by himself. And for that reason, they had to cancel that event, which is quite embarrassing. You have a candidate who does not even know the difference between a museum and a zoo. That kind of person can't even read the manifesto that he said he's parading about. These people are parading about. Their candidate cannot even read the manifesto or engage Edo people with that manifesto. So that's a problem. And like I always say that, if you look at the history of political parties, you can tell the antecedents by the antecedents of political parties and where they are coming from. Look at the APC today. If you go back to 2015, when they came in with so much hulabu, so much noise, and so much this and that, they can't really beat their chest and say, look at what the APC has achieved for the country. The APC has brought nothing to Nigeria but suffering, insecurity, hunger, and starvation. People are now forced to be cooking stew today with cucumber. That's how bad things are in Nigeria. And instead of the APC, to be going around Edo people, going around Nigeria, apologizing to people, apologizing to Nigerians for bringing so much poverty, so much hunger, so much desperation into the land. They are still coming out propelling candidates that are born with lies. Go back to 2015. Go back to 2015. The candidate they presented in 2015, Muhammadu Buhari, who was their candidate in 2015, while other candidates were engaging Nigerians, telling them what they want to do, he refused to come out. He didn't debate. He didn't show himself anywhere. He was hiding. And Nigerians were carried away with the slogan of change, change, change. And then what happened after the change? Nigeria changed for the worse. Nigeria is worse today. And then go back again to 2023. Go back to 2023. Why the likes of Peter Obi and the other candidates of the other parties were going around engaging Nigerians in what they want to do, the APC candidate was hiding. He was just saying Eminokan and hiding. He didn't come out for any debate. He didn't engage Nigerians. He was hiding. While the NBA was doing their national conference, he didn't show up. When other candidates went there, they presented their manifesto to the NBA and other bodies in Nigeria. He was hiding. He couldn't engage the press, couldn't engage the media, couldn't engage anybody. And come back down to Edo, they want to bring the same strategy. They have presented a candidate that is intellectually bereaved, and they want to foist it on Edo people. But what they forget is that Edo people are very intelligent. Edo people are very wise. They understand the antics of the APC, and they will not fall for it. The APC as a political party...
Let me pause you there, Fares. Let me just pause you there. I'll come back to you in a moment. But it's interesting to know, in spite of these analyses that you have given, the APC, according to you, has used that strategy to win elections back-to-back from the time of President Muhammadu Buhari to now President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Maybe it's a strategy and it seems to be working. What do you make? But I'll come back to you in a moment. Let me get Ahmed to speak to these issues. Yeah.
I just laugh at that because I wonder how they managed to get to do all of that. But it's quite interesting because I totally align with your thoughts that when the party and candidates, as it were, put forth a manifesto, it is only commonsensical that they engage the people on the basis of that manifesto and be able to effectively communicate it to a level that the people can resonate with it and understand the nitty-gritty of what it portends for them and their future. Because I believe so much that it is about the future and the lives of Edo people, and it's not something that should be handled with kid's glove. You see, I want to even take it a step further. Okay. That it's not even about having a beautiful manifesto written. There's never anybody who will come and decide to demarket him or herself. Nobody is going to come here today and tell you my candidate doesn't have plans or any agenda. But can we be honest for once to take it a step further, that it's not about saying we shall do this, we shall do that, but how do we intend to do what we say we want to do? What are the practical, workable plans you have on ground to achieve what you have promised and covenanted to the people that you want to achieve? I think that is where the discussion should even begin to start from, because I think that the average Edo person, over the years have been so abused and insulted. I just think this is a slap on the collective intelligence of the Edo people for a party like the APC or the PDP to even be that bold enough to field candidates. Because over the years, we have seen promises made and never kept.
Okay. All right, I'll come back to you. Yes, I know you'll be itching to react and respond to some of the thoughts that have been brought
very quickly.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me first just touch a little of my brother. May God bless our YPP brothers. APC in Edo states have all it takes to majestically come before Edo people and tell them, give us an opportunity again. You gave to us before. Since the evolving of democracy, the first time you gave to us in Edo state, which in Comrade Adam Saliu, was given a shot, and you saw what he did. You saw the infrastructure, you saw the roads, you saw the school, you saw the water storm project, you saw the infrastructure, you saw the agricultural empowerment, you saw the human capacity that he built, you saw the university that was built.
Did he engage Edo people in telling them this was what it was? Did he engage Edo people?
Of course. Now let me tell you, that is why, in a little way he did. He was no more, as at the first time Adam was coming, how often did you even see him? It was not often, because then the PDP was embarrassing us, blocking us, sending talks after us at any point rally, just like we have been building our big boats. Obaseki government have been destroying our big boats everywhere.
What's your evidence on that?
So much.
Let's stay on the issue.
I know. Tomorrow now somebody will say, like Father said the other time, that we don't have big boats, we don't have this, we don't have that. Now when you boot today, using local government chairman to be dismantling it. But however, that is not what the people want. He said, for example, that our candidates are not everywhere. If there is any party that has been campaigning, it's APC. It's APC that has been campaigning. Our candidates have met with traditional rulers. Our candidates have met with religious leaders for the third time. Religious leader for the third time. Those are opinion models. Those are extreme people. He has met with market women and he's still meeting. And also the party level, he has been meeting with stakeholders in the party on how best, what he intends to do, and how they can sell also his manifesto. Now you talked about the Medical Association of Nigeria putting up a program. Now you're not genuinely asking, Medical Association of Nigeria organized through the PDP fantasy or extremist in the, because we all have interest. Even in, you say in the NBA, even in the NBA you have APC and PDP people. The one organized through the PDP or the one organized by the body itself. Now our candidate cannot be pushed around because one is not.
So that NMA program or Medical Association program was organized by the PDP faction.
No, I'm asking you the question.
Okay, I thought that's what you said. Okay. Was that why your candidate didn't show up?
If Faraz probably had the invitation, but if my candidate chooses to attend and later tells you, oh, I am engaged, I'm sorry.
Okay.
See, in Benin, when an event that is more pressing comes in, you don't expect him to leave that.
He can't be everywhere.
No, he can't be everywhere at the same time.
Okay.
If you do not allow me to send a delegate, then we'll prepare when we'll be more confident. Now when you say he's hiding, is it about grammar? We are not talking about, you say your candidate is very intelligent. A candidate that said we have 9 hours in a day and 29 days in a week. Is that the person you are saying is intelligent? Now when you want to mock people, pride is the beginning of fall. And now everybody has his own way of grace and his own way God has prepared you. Now when you begin to push out and claims you know it all, when you actually, a stage will come, you realize you really know nothing. So even when we are campaigning, what do people want? That is more paramount to them. We do not have road. We do not have school. You don't need to speak grammar from here to Cotonou to know that in Igbopan, the whole place has been finished. You don't need to read from here to Kashafan to know that the whole GRA is now worse than a Jegule that we used to know. Okay. Now, what are you talking to me about? Do you need to know that you need a green environment in GRA or even in some parts of Edo State? All these are not there because Governor Obaseki spoke grammar across in his second term. In the first term, we assisted him to speak the grammar. That was why we thought he would consolidate on what Adams had put on ground. But sadly, he was completely different. He came in with a capitalist idea to come and use our people to trade, and that he has been doing. Okay. And the sad thing is, Aswe Igodalo has been the special advisor. He said the boat came in and they are going to be building their economy, personal economy, no edu economy. That is why the people have said, you don't even need to tell us grammar. Give us an empirical evidence of what you have done before. You are very rich, you hold a bank, you hold this one, you hold it. What have you done before? Okay. Is there a bank in your state?
Let me pause you.
Do your people have life?
Let me pause you there.
Do they have security? All these
College, let me pause you there. Akpeji,
yeah, you see, I think to a very large extent, an average Edo person is a very emotionally intelligent person and politically conscious person. So I just believe that the APC and the PDPs are just somehow probably helping the YPP to campaign, because very soon it will become very clear and glary to the average Edo person where their loyalty should go, where their destiny truly lies. Because I agree that you can't be everywhere at every time. You can afford to delegate, but it becomes one too much when you are always delegating. And if you say this person has been engaging the people at several levels and it's not in public space, we don't even see it. You know, I think it's very worrisome, because if you say you have plans, you should be able to communicate them effectively so. Okay? Because you see, over the years, it has become politics of emotions. You tell people we will do this. See, I feel very insulted when people still have the courage to come out to campaign with, we will do roads, we will give you water. It's an insult.
Okay.
No, sorry, just a minute.
Yeah,
the reason I say so is, do
I
I have to thank you, Sonny Duke, for instance, for giving your child food to eat? Or I thank you, say you have done well for impregnating your wife? Or you go to the ATM to make withdrawal, and then after withdrawing, you bow down to the ATM or kneel down and say, thank you very much for giving me my money. These are the basic rights of the people. Come up and share ideas.
All right.
And tell us what you want to do.
Give your final word on this, Faraz, before we call it a wrap and move on to our next segment.
Sonny, please, I want to challenge the enemy. I want to challenge the enemy to also extend that invitation to the white people candidates.
Just hold on. We didn't say enemy. They say medical association. We didn't say enemy. All right, Faraz, your final take on this before we call it a wrap. Looking at the relationship between party manifestos, the candidate, and the voters' choice. What's your final take?
Well, the voters' choice in this election is very easy. It's very easy for them because Nigerians are, Edo people are very intelligent people. If you go back to our elections, you see in 2020, you could tell that the APC, as usual, went around, talking about federal might and all sorts of things. While the PDP candidate was going around engaging, sharing ideas, reaching out to the people, reaching out to those who are important. The APC was busy talking about federal might and all of that, hiding their candidate and all that. And they brought the same strategy again, which we failed in this same election. Because instead of the candidate of the APC to go out and reach out to the people, he's going around telling people that, Tinubu has promised him this and that and that. And that is not a good strategy because there's a disconnect right now between the candidate of the APC and the people. The only person who is connected right now to the people, as you can see from everywhere, is the PDP candidates, engaging religious leaders, engaging the student community. Just last month, the APC candidate was invited to BIU, where the Labour Party candidate went there, the PDP candidate went there to engage with the student. He refused to come because he doesn't want to engage in intellectual discourse. He cannot. He doesn't have the capacity.
Thank you so much, Faraz. I hope we can do this again. Final word from you.
Yes, because one, our candidates will not be setting up town hall meeting and using vehicle to pack people from one place to another. Like what you saw in AAU when Aswan was embarrassed. He wanted to meet with students and it was less than 5 people that came. It was so humiliating and embarrassing. Okay. So our candidate will not engulf himself in such a humiliating thing. So because he's already driven by the people.
Yeah, for me, my final word is this, that Edo people are very intelligent and I count on their intelligence. They may see us as weak people. They may see us as broken, beaten and battered. They may see us as touts and idiots. They may see us as oppressed, but one thing is certain, we still have our intelligence.
All right, thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much.